Today, I'm bringing you along in a different style video for this harvesting video. If you want to see how I harvest on a busy Saturday for my orders the following Monday and Tuesday, then stick around. The first thing I do is get my riding lawnmower hooked up to this old little trailer. This is such a great system for harvesting flowers. Both of these things I used to harvest flowers every day, and they were both things that we already owned before we had a farm. So we are just utilizing what's available to us already. So the little trailer, it actually was my dad's that he rarely used, and he told us we could use it. So here we are 6 years later, still using the same stuff. Next, I bring my mower over to the other side of my shed and I get my buckets into the little trailer and I get them filled with water from my CBVN tabs and the proper harvest solution. I use the Chrysler Professional No. 2 for most flowers, and for woody shrubs, I use a hydrating solution. I'm also prepping in a little container quick dip that I use for woody shrubs and some other hard to hydrate crops. Then I grab my harvest basket, which has my clippers, gloves, rubber bands, and a few other things, and I get ready to head to the field. I'm Ruth Ann from Abundant Blooms Flower Farm in Dorr, Michigan. I've been selling flowers for 6 years. Almost all of my flowers are sold exclusively to florists, and that's where all these flowers that I'm harvesting in this video are going. If you're interested in selling flowers to florists, I have a download called Free Tips for Selling Flowers to Florists, and the link is in the description. I also help flower farmers through my online course, Selling Flowers to Florists, and through one-on-one consulting. As I'm doing this, I'm just thinking about the day and the different activities. This was actually a really busy day for us. My husband is going to be working there also. It's a Saturday. This is about 7 a.m. It's fall. This was recorded in the end of September. So there's less daylight here than there is in the summertime. As I'm getting ready here, you can see I have a little partner join me. So we're going to head out here to get some woodies. That's the first place I start because you want to harvest those first thing in the morning if possible so they can get in the cooler, so they don't wilt in the heat. Now, my other daughter is helping me harvest some sedum. You can see her in the background. The sedum is located near my woody shrubs. So they kind of go, and then I start by harvesting some Ninebark. This is the Ninebark woody area that I planted in 2022. So you can see it's getting pretty robust now. And the plants are really big and mature and healthy. So you can see that smoke bush in the foreground is almost completely harvested. And I'm just harvesting the Ninebark here. It's really beautiful, looks incredible, and I'm so thankful for it. I check my clipboard as I'm going. So before I go out to the field, I print out my orders that I use. I print out my orders from Rooted Farmers. So I get those order numbers and I make sure that I'm getting the correct numbers of bunches. I also use a system called Local Line for the orders that I get through the Chicago Flower Market for when I'm selling into Chicago. So I have two different systems, which makes it a little tricky. So I'm printing out both systems here. So I have a clipboard, that's what I'm constantly referencing, and there's some of my Ninebark haul. So I'm going to bring it over here, and you can see there's that little yogurt container, and I'm going to quick dip them into Quick Dip, which is just a hydration solution, and it helps the woody stems uptake, well, it helps any stem uptake and hydrate more easily, and it helps them last longer, and it really does. So I have started using that. I didn't used to use that in the beginning, but I do think that it gives me better quality woody shrubs as well. So my cosmos are right next to the woody area, so you can see that I'm getting cosmos also here. And then I'm going to get some snowberries. These are snowberries. And this is the first harvest haul. So you can see there's a whole bunch of smoke bush, some cosmos, ninebark, sedum, other varieties of ninebark, and snowberries, and a different variety of ninebark. So mostly woody. So that's a pretty full trailer. It's all full, and I'm going to take it over to my cooler. And I'm going to get this all in the cooler. And it's a process. You can see while I'm putting stuff in the cooler, I'm actually taking out old buckets as well. So that is an old bucket that needs to get composted. I typically will take the whole bucket and put it in, but sometimes I will take the bunches out and add them to other buckets that are already there. Maybe, so for example, cosmos I harvest almost every day. So I have a bucket of cosmos that's already going. And so I'm just going to add those to the cosmos. My daughter picked some of these, so I am kind of re-stripping it. I don't typically do this, but so I'm just kind of double checking the bunches that she picked. If you want to know, she is 8 and she's pretty capable with most crops. So I'm just kind of stripping them a little better and pulling off. Some of the leaves at this time of year get a little brown, so I just want to make sure none of those brown leaves are on there. I didn't get a video of this, but I did grab a whole bunch of hydrangeas and sunflowers and dahlias. And then that's kind of a wrap on the front area. So now I'm in the main field in the back. It's later in the day, and I'm picking some raspberry greens here and blackberry greens. And as I'm harvesting, I'm always looking and assessing the crop and see how it's doing. Does it need water? Does, are there insect damage? Is there bug damage? Is there pest pressure? Is there disease? So as I'm harvesting, I'm always kind of just assessing the crops and trying to see and make sure everything's okay. And I'm also thinking, how much of this crop is available for next week, and how much of this crop will I have in the future? And sort of I just try to take into account the health of each crop as I'm harvesting. The first was the raspberry, then this is the blackberry. They're subtly different. They're both great. Grabbed a few bunches of this little yarrow that I have that's kind of in a rebloom. I've got some Japanese anemones here. And there's loosestrife foliage also that I grabbed back there. And so I'm just getting these few things in the cooler. The day is pressing on here. Like I said, there was a lot happening. Actually, my husband was pouring concrete for a goat pen that we are prepping as we're getting goats soon. This is in my tunnel. This is the most massive amaranth. It is literally to the ceiling of those pilings. Huge amaranth. So I am cutting it with a sickle, and I am not going to strip it in the tunnel. I'm going to take it out of the tunnel and strip it somewhere else. So it is really, really massive. But it was pretty fun. So I was able to sell it all, and people really enjoyed it. But here we go. Now I've got the purple amaranth. It's gigantic. So it was too crazy to try and strip them in the tunnel. So I just harvest them and I put them in the trailer and I bring them back to my processing area to strip and bunch, which I took a video of and I can't find it, but I did strip them and bunch them in my processing area by my cooler. I didn't get any footage of that. But you can see here, I'm using a sickle to harvest them, and I'm just piling in my arm. I also harvest sunflowers like this, and there was a lot of loads because they were super heavy, and I had orders for quite a few of them. But you can see I'm pretty much taking down my whole crop, so that was pretty fun to cut them all down and get them out of there. I also grabbed a bunch of dahlias that are in my tunnel and just one bunch of Lizzie that was also in there. And that's all the amaranth, which is so massive. But it's really beautiful and it's really fun. And this is actually Monday morning. or Tuesday morning maybe, and I'm pulling everything out of my cooler, give you a little snippet into how I get things ready to deliver. So I'm just sort of picking and packing here, putting orders together, moving stuff around. I try and get kind of everything out of my cooler and start rearranging and then pack it into my Suburban there. So it's just a lot of checking my notes, checking my orders, getting things in the right place. So the farthest away that I deliver last are in the back. And then the things that I deliver first, obviously, are in the front. You can see this was actually super, super full, and the whole front of it was full as well. So that's just a little glimpse into how I harvest, get things ready for delivery. I hope that is helpful to you. If you have questions, let me know in the comments, but it was pretty fun to record this ride along. But check out the video that I did on growing Ninebark and smokebush. I think you're going to really enjoy it, and it will help you learn how to grow amazing woody shrubs as well, just like I grow on my farm. That's it for today, folks, and I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Press on to the end of this 2025 flower farming season. You got this.